So I'm not gonna lie, for the first time in human history, I think we can say war is good. We need the console war to come back, and this is coming from somebody who I'm not gonna lie, dude. The console war, I think it's pretty stupid. But ever since the console war has like not been a thing, dude, competition has just been dead when it comes to gaming companies, and it's led to them getting way too comfortable. More specifically, Sony. It's really been dead ever since. I mean, honestly, the beginning of the end was at the beginning of Xbox One, right? When I forget that guy's name, but he was like on the stage and he just killed the Xbox One. Just absolutely killed it, saying it was basically a cable box. Not a good start, you know? But that was just Xbox beginning to lose pretty badly. I ain't gonna lie, it's more so when Phil Spencer came out and just said it's over, we lost. You know, that's probably when it ended, and then it was officially dead when we're just taking all the exclusives away from Xbox and putting it on PlayStation. That is got to be the most definitive, yeah, it's cooked. Plus, they were just making everything Xbox. Like, my damn tablet's an Xbox now. That's sick. Back in the day. Thank God that's gone now. That was really the end, though. When they were pushing that whole branding on Xbox, that was the end of the console war. If it wasn't already over, that was for sure the end. We kind of need that back. It is a little cringe when, gamers are sitting there one-upping each other over, I have a PlayStation, you have an Xbox, I'm better, look at my exclusive. We don't care, Jimmy, okay? Like, dude, it's just a plastic box. These companies don't care about you. They just want your money. You know, why do you care about your plastic box compared to somebody else's? So the whole thing is stupid. Whether you have a Switch, an Xbox, PlayStation, nobody cares, dude. We just want games. And we need the console war simply because, dude, these companies don't put out games. They don't put out games no more. Dude, look at PlayStation. I remember so this is like my perspective. I used to be an Xbox kid, okay? I had Xbox One. I didn't ever get a PS4. So I'm sitting there through 2015 to like 2019. You just have PS4 banger after banger after banger. You got God of War 2018, Spider-Man, dude. Last of Us. What else was coming around that time, dude? Ghost of Tsushima. All these games were just coming out. Bang, 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 right? And I'm missing out on all of them because I'm on Xbox. And I got State of Decay 2, I think. That was the only noteworthy exclusive that Xbox dropped. So then I bought a PS5 expecting to get, some bangers. Dude, unfortunately, Xbox stopped competing and I got in at the wrong time because the PS5 generation has been some hot donkey ass. Let's start from the beginning when the PS5 started. The amount of just live service games they began publishing. We hate you, Jim Ryan, for doing this, by the way. Just, Jim Ryan, you can suck my cock. It's like they completely gave up on making the exclusive. They didn't give up. They just took those studios that were making banger exclusives. Like, the perfect example is The Last of Us multiplayer game. They took Naughty Dog, said, all right, make a live service game. And they haven't made anything this generation. They just made damn remasters. That's all we've gotten from them. A top dog studio, and we're not getting anything from them till the end of the generation. What? When going through and editing this, I stumbled upon me. I was like, how many games are actually only on the PS5? Not on the PC, not on the PS4, like only on the PS5? Would you believe it if I told you there is 6? Look at your screen. There's 6. That is basically one game a year, if you want to do some quick math there. Outrageous. So really, the exclusives have just been lackluster, to say the least, in this generation. The crap that I wanted, that I bought a PS5 for, has just not been there. It's not really existed this entire time. And then on top of all that, I mean this with like no shade if you don't have a PS5 or Xbox Series console or whatever. Dude, it is 2026 and we are just now starting to stop supporting the PS4. That is, it's unfathomable back in the day. We are literally Jesus, 6, 7. We are 6 to 7 years into this this console's lifespan, and there is still gaming studios supporting the old gen hardware. It is just now becoming normal for us to leave that behind. And not only are we just starting to leave behind the old hardware, dude, the new hardware is about to drop. And I don't know what the rumors are saying, probably like 2 years, 2027, 2028, late 2027. Dude, if you have a PS4 or an Xbox One, why would you get the PS5? The generation has been absolutely horrendous. They're upping the prices on the consoles now. They're taking away our physical media. It is just awful. It's absolutely horrendous. And I just want to contrast this with everybody seems to love the 360 and PS3 era of gaming console generation, whatever you want to call it. Everybody looks back at that time very fondly. And I remember being a kid, that's when I started to really obsess over gaming. It became my thing when I was a kid. And I remember there being so many games, dude. On the PS2, the PS3, the Xbox, there was always just a new banger coming out, and you were just always excited to get a new game and play, right? And everybody I've talked to or I know of that knows about that generation, they think that's the best. And I mean, it's not a hot take. The 360 is by far Xbox's best generation. Funny enough, though, from that generation, the PS3 actually was kind of hated. We look back on it fondly now that Xbox and PS3 are, wow, that was so good. There's so many good games. Back in the day, though, dude, people were hating on the PS3 quite a lot. The two things that I remember were a big problem people had with the PS3 initially was one, especially looking back now kind of crazy, is the PS3 was really expensive. Really, really expensive. Like $600 back in 2000, what was that, 2006? So after inflation, that is a crazy amount of money, to put it lightly, especially compared to now. And compare that to Xbox, which was just significantly cheaper. Yeah, people weren't too happy about that at the beginning of the launch. And apparently the PS3 was just hard to develop on. It was just very complex. I don't really know why or anything like that. It was just the architecture of the PS3 made games very hard for developers to make. However, though, because PS3 came off to such a bad footing, it made Sony lock in because the Xbox 360 was already doing well. You had Gears and Halo out. People were loving the 360, right? So PS3, if they wanted to reclaim their PS2 era, had to do something about that. They had to make some good games. And they did. What do you know? They weren't comfortable. I wonder where I'm going to go with this later. They actually locked in and started making good games. And that's really all we want is good games. And everybody remembers PS3 fondly. Everybody remembers the Xbox 360 fondly, mainly because it had good games. You remember the Red Ring of Death? That was a thing, and nobody really cares. Now, Xbox did do a lot of good stuff with that, but the main thing is they had good games. If you just have good games, we don't really remember anything else. If you just have good games, we're going to love that generation. So then now I want to talk about today and why I think we need the console war to come back, at least somewhat. I don't care about your plastic box. I just want good games, man. I just want good exclusives again. And it seems like Xbox actually might do something about it. For the longest time, it was very much we give up. You got us. We aren't trying no more. But now that Asha has taken over, they're bringing exclusives back, which some people bother me with this. They're like, exclusives are bad. Dude, exclusives are the reason your console is going to sell. That is the entire reason I bought a PS5. So I think it is a good thing that she is bringing back exclusives to the console. So Xbox will have its own games. Good. I don't know why we're putting Halo on the PS5. Why are we doing that? Why are we putting Starfield on the PS? It's just, now granted that was before her, but it was dumb. It was just very much let's milk all the money we can and hope for the best situation. They weren't trying to sell hardware, which is dumb. Then the thing that excites me the most that is happening right now with Xbox is it seems like they're locking in on their popular IP. Asha, especially with all the recent Fallout news, it seems like they're trying to get that IP out more. They see that they have a catalog of IP that they have just let shelf there, dormant, doing nothing with, and it seems like they're trying to get that in the swing of things. They're trying to get a steady flow of content coming out from the IP people actually want to play, not these damn artsy fartsy games, Phil. We don't care about that. Anytime that shows up on the showcase, me and the homies are rolling our eyes. We're not trying to play that. Now, if Xbox are really wanted to get a little spicy with it, right, is they could do the slam dunk Sony did on them all them years ago with the physical media. This is how you share a PlayStation 4 game and you hand a disc over. If they really wanted to, they could do that. I think there's a slight problem there though, because the next project or next gen for Xbox is going to be Project Helix, and that apparently isn't going to have a disc drive. So they would have to, I don't know how that would work. Like, you've already went so far into this planning process for the next gen, and you didn't plan on having a disc drive. And hell, they're even trying to make it to where you can digitalize your physical media now. They're bringing back backwards compatibility to PC, which I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a good thing. I would say they're making those older games available to PC players, and they're just putting on the Xbox app and stuff. That's a good thing. Not as good as owning it physically, but it is a good virtual game library thing that they are doing. Sony, they're not going to do anything like that, dude. We have to force them to do something, and that's why we need Xbox to help us to force them to do that. So if they really wanted to, they could lean into, hey, we're going to lean into this physical media because there is such an outcry from people right now. It might be a vocal minority, but I don't care, damn it. I'm part of the vocal minority. We want physical media. So we are bullying Sony on their socials. It's pretty funny. So I don't know how realistic it is that Xbox actually leans into physical media, but I will say the one thing that I think they could do is, more than likely, this next generation of consoles are going to be crazy expensive. Like, we all can see the writing on the wall with the RAM and all that. If you could just somehow have your price point for your next gen Xbox lower than the PlayStation, that is going to do wonders, I think, for like, especially if you could just make it manageable, eat a lot of the cost. I don't know how you could do it. I mean, they're already so much in a hole. Just eat the bullet here and hope it. I don't know how you would do it, but if they could just somehow do that, that would be a real kicker to Sony, and it would get a lot of people's trust back. So yeah, I just wanted to yap about the good old console war that's been dead for a while. Hopefully it gets reignited with how Xbox is moving these days, because, God, we need it, dude. All I want is some good games. At the end of the day, we're gamers, dude. We just want good games. That's all I want. That's all you want. You shouldn't care about the damn plastic box. So I'll be down in the comments if you guys want to yap it up about any of the, I don't know, anything about gaming related. But that's about it. So have a good one.